Get on the substitute. She knows what she's doing.
Nothing. Hi.
I ain't filming shit when I should be.
I'm filming you. Don't worry. I got plenty of footage.
Right, can I just get this? No.
Whose tour is this?
Is somebody doing the Tony? Tony. Somebody doing Tony?
Oh, so if I put it on Instagram, I can literally grab it off there later, like. So, that makes sense.
No? Right.
Who's the singer? Who said that?
No? Somebody?
Did you have male voice choir bit first?
I will try a little bit.
I will respektive flying up all the place.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
That's not like a buzz you have every day, is it?
I feel better. Spot on.
It cleanses right through you, doesn't it?
I was real pretty.
It's like a dragon, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just maybe position it somewhere here. There. Thank you very much. I want to thank you to the dragon, to Gaia, and to everybody.
Thank you, Maria.
Thank you very much. Wow. I know.
You got to be loosey-goosey, man. That anxiousness is just like that, trying to do the matrix, trying to fuck with you. It don't want you to do it. Yeah. It don't want this. That's why they fucked up with
People getting together.
Or go with the flow.
People getting together.
No, they
They want
don't.
you in the house, miserable, and having a virtual reality. Is
You
what
need,
they want.
you need a think tank to beat them, like, you know.
Yeah, work together.
Once people down, you've seen the state of them all out there, masked and fucking
No.
scared of their own shadows. Is that
Terrified.
Life?
It's not good. It's not healthy.
Not healthy.
When all they ever got is the now, you know? Live on Flat of British, day one on the Flat of British tour on Martinica channel. Maria just done a beautiful cleansing. I'm afraid you missed that, but it was a fantastic occasion. We have Jade over there, who is Future of the Past, who has organised this with me. Fantastic, thanks so much, Jade. This wouldn't be here if it weren't for you. And there's Dave, there's Brian Evans, backing boy. My son Lawrence Leedker, Flat of British's son, who is Welsh Dragon Metals. I almost forgot your name then, Lot.
Nice.
Three double flat thumbs. And there's Tony and the brother who's named Joe each, from now on. Can't remember. Tony each.
Jason.
Fucking yeah, Jason. I don't know you. And my Druid brother who said super fantastic. So that's so far. People are going to gather. We just put our favourite crystals out on this standing. Actually an altar, isn't it?
Is this an altar?
I hope it's not a sacrificial altar then.
Not-
You've got
not-
altar in the past.
Not,
You know?
no sacrifices here.
It's good energy now, but I was feeling that before, you know, something might have happened on it. It's an unusual slab anyway. There's stuff underneath it, there's tool marks below there. So what's all that about?
Oh, it's
Yeah,
definitely
could be,
tooled.
Could be like Paul Cook is saying with the bags. Did you see that one? When was it on? Wish I didn't have a brain like a sieve, like.
Do you know what? I was going to like, I literally,
you know.
it's going to be sunny today. Did you know that?
Yeah. I did that, yes.
It's going to be sunny today.
Brian, do me a favour,
So
hold
he
that.
says.
Flat of British me. You're going to do it with one hand. Let's crank this up. So let me have a check at the time. A minute. It's like, people not everyone's
Hang
turns
on,
up.
4:20.
4:20 every minute though, isn't it?
Exactly.
So yeah, the party's already started. That's it, you've seen me.
10
And,
minutes.
When everyone gathers, we're going to get
Yeah,
off on our
I think
journey.
there's a notification from notification on my phone.
Is it? That'll be
I
me
think
then.
so.
The thing is, it's still early in the morning. I've pinched your light at you, Matthew. No problem. So yeah, let me get this cranked up.
I was going to bring my zip over, but I forgot it.
Happy with myself. So all the Cardiff can hear me, because it would be selfish not to share this experience with the people of my fair city, miserable bastards. What? Listen, honesty's not popular, I'm finding, in this realm. Yo! Yow! Oi, oi! Oggy, oggy, oggy! Double flat thumbs. See, I'm not a fucking hologram, I'm real. No, I'm not extra mental, I'm extra mental.
Extra mental. Nice.
Okay,
Right, there's some stuff going.
so that smudgy stick is going to burn right through, but that's alright. If there's a fire, just shout fire. let me see you boys. What's happening? Alright.
Yeah.
You see my friend?
How are you?
What's your name?
Neil.
Neil.
Oxo,
Neil, Neil,
Oxo.
Lodge.
Huh?
Oxo.
Yeah.
Oxo, why is that?
Is this on? I don't know.
When's that stick?
We're not that big.
Fill it
Oxo.
up.
Yeah.
More?
Oi, oi!
Oh my days. Ross should
Yeah, Ross is turned up. Yes, Ross. Oh.
Jersey one. Oh, no, good to meet you. Good to meet you. How you doing, right? First class. Oh, yes. Excellent.
That's what it is. You better take it off. I'm not designating you filmer.
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, good. How you doing, right?
Ross and Matthew over there.
Morning. Yeah. How you doing, all right?
Matthew's got smudging stick duty.
Ross. Yes, Ross. Hello. Yeah. What happened? Oh, must we see each other up there? Hello. How are you?
So we are missing somebody. You know who that is, don't you?
Yeah.
Mel.
Yes, good to meet you as well. Yeah, I watched
Back in the car, so we have to wait for her anyway. Okay. So.
How many of us are going to be?
Yeah, definitely coming, yeah.
Nice. All I can see is my
Oh, thank you. He's just getting sleep. Like, I got nothing to do. Yeah, you got to come down a bit.
There you are. There you are. Who's that? Yeah, that's me. The thing is, it's not always straight. Do you want to use my... Did you bring my side?
Yeah, I got real bad.
Yes, that's right. Exactly. I do. Very similar. Yeah, I just thought
Rossage.
I brought a camera as well.
What, Ross?
Sound system.
Ross,
Hello, hi.
Right.
Morning. How are you?
came along.
Your dad got you up on a Monday morning, eh?
Yeah, early.
I did better than me. I'm not very good Monday mornings.
Over there.
I've got a good excuse for Sunday evening, haven't I?
You got
Oh wow, look at this.
Okay, we got the shits, guy. We got the shits.
Just brought my guitar.
Maria doing the smudging.
No echo.
That was pretty cool.
1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's not too loud, is it?
That's brilliant.
1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, Flat of British tour, first time in history. Here stand today. We're going to heal the whole of the Great British Isles, is what we're going to do. The place is a real mess at the moment, so it's in drastic need of people help. That would be us. Okay, this doesn't seem anyone else is taking part in this reality. So what we're going to do, okay, is we're going to do something super fantastic. We're going to have a brilliant time. We're going to enjoy every single moment. We're going to network. We're going to be friends. We're going to have fun. And what we're going to do is we're going to shine our lights. Okay, we're going to shine our lights and we're going to show everyone how people really are, because they seem to have forgotten. Okay, so we're going to bring the love and we're going to change the whole place. Okay, there'll be an aura of Flat of British loveness around us all. And when we go through the tour,
One love.
when we go through the tour, everyone's going to be noticing our aura. Okay, so we just had a beautiful cleansing process, which you just missed, I'm afraid, with Maria, who sung like an absolute angel, healed us all before we even started, and to get us on a fantastic buzz. So there's a fair few of us have turned up. I'm absolutely buzzing. I want to thank Jade, who organised this. We wouldn't be here now. Don't be embarrassed. So guys, yeah, so we're going to go on a tour. Later on we'll have a Reveille. And then we're going to chuck down to Cardiff Bay later and take a look at the Mudflooders end the evening, and then probably just like party and have fantastic time. Over your house for a split. My house was split. Get about. Can't swing a cat in my place, but I guess something will happen. So yeah, Ross, would you join me, please? Also, we got famous YouTuber, okay, British Hidden Histories, Ross, who's joined us, come all the way from the far north of Cardiff, the Valleys, okay, to come and join us.
Hello, Walt, yeah.
Come here, my brother. Oh, so Ross, let me introduce Ross. Hidden Histories was the leading voice in King Arthur subjects.
All right, there's the introduction, isn't it?
It's true though, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think most people saw me last night, I think, from there saying hello to everyone.
You get it.
Wait, hang on. It's not like me to have technical issues, is it? Hello, can you? I don't need a microphone, do I? Here we are. All right, it's working. Okay, anyway. Yeah, welcome all. Yeah, what I'm going to do is, this is a really important part which no one realises. It's not signposted anything. This whole area is immensely important historically, and for reasons you might not realise. So over here, that's where we're going to wander over to. You can see the Blackfriars is marked out. Well, there's a couple of very mysterious graves there. We're going to talk about those and who they are. And the other thing, while you're here to look at, try and get my bearings exactly right. You can see at the moment the River Taff running under the bridge there. Well, the Taff used to, it's been redirected. When they built the big train station back in 1870, something like that, don't quote me on that date, when they put the great big Cardiff Central train station, they diverted the river. Now the river used to go down what is now Westgate Street, and you can see things there like there's Go Late House and stuff like that. What used to happen is the river used to run up to the Roath, and there's a dock in Roath which people don't realise. So the boat was set off from Roath and come down here, and if you're going late, if you're running late, you could run on and you could jump on the boat there in Westgate Street. So that was why it's called Go Late. Now the other side of the Taff would split at the top of this area, and that bit would go round there to where the castle is, join the moat, and there's talk at the moment they're going to bring that back up again, because at the moment the river goes underground and it comes back out by Churchill Way.
Yeah.
And
they're going to lift up Churchill Way again?
Yeah, they're going to open up the river again so you can see.
Very more history, isn't it?
Pardon?
Very more history.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
we'll
more
come-
history. Yeah.
So what the effect was, with the original route, and you can see this on old maps, these old maps from the 1680s and even more recent, this area that we're on now was an island. This is the island. And this, originally, is the area, the island of Avila. You're standing on it right now. This is the most holy parts of the whole world, and it's not mentioned at all. So, when we have a situation where, you know the stories when, after the crucifixion, Joseph, Arimathea, and the birth of Christianity, when they came to Britain, and they say all that's in Glastonbury and everything, that's incorrect. The first Glastonbury church wasn't founded until 900 odd. It was almost 1,000 years late. It's one of these huge scams. It's 1,000 years. How could he get away with this? It was all debunked. It's the modern term debunked on the internet hundreds of years ago. It was known to be a scam back in the 14 and 1500s, and still the story persists. That Glastonbury's the place. It was actually Glastonbury, and that's up the Severn, up towards Warwickshire. But the main place of interest for the early Christianity starting, and Joseph Arimathea, was around here. So you can see, as you'll have the videos on my channel, there's a place called Llan Ilid. Ilid is the crucial name, because Joseph Arimathea, he was known as Ilid. That's his Welsh name. So it might be of Galilee, Ilid, or something like that. Depends how they derive the name exactly. So a lot of the places you see around South Wales called Llanilltyd, like my scarf just took off, I was going down by prop, but one prop just took it off. Like Llanilltyd Fadra and Llanilltyd Fawr, which is called Llanilltyd Major and Llanilltyd Fadra. Some of those might actually be named after Ilid, and the name just is superimposed on top. But the important thing for today is, as well as realising this is the island of Avila. I'll just give another introduction before we wander over there, because that's the one really show you the gravestone, and you can see it yourself. Is that, sorry, I lost my phone a second there. Yeah, the important thing there, when we come to this island, the stories, a lot of these stories come from someone called Maelgwn. And it's another one of these histories that's been twisted. Because people go Maelgwn and think, Maelgwn Gwynedd, this is the North Walian Maelgwn. He was the king of Gwynedd, and from all those stories. But the Maelgwn who laid down the history, he's from Llandaff, he's from this area, and this area is very important. And you'll see Llandaff Cathedral, just at the Taff there, if you fold that up, not very far at all. That's the site of the world's first cathedral. For some reason, Llandaff Cathedral says it's founded 450 odd. It's got records back to 170, that's what we're talking about. Llan Ilid, the church over towards Bridgend, which has a crow flies, about all the roads, not very far, that's probably founded about 50 AD. So I'm not just talking the first in Britain, it's the first anywhere in the world. And the Christianity went from here to Rome when Cardiff was captured and betrayed by their tribe at the Liverpool area. So it went the other way. The general story is they met Paul over there and brought it back. But no, it went the other way. And the palace, the Britannicum palace that they lived in Rome, that became the centre for the early Christianity. And you can see that still to this day. all the skulls there, all the early Christian martyrs. It's still venerated as Cadentius Church, one of the first Christians. And all these people, if you get your Bible and look at 2 Timothy, you'll see a letter there. And the people listed in the letter are from the British royal family. For example, Linus. Linus, who's the son of Cardiff, was in Rome, starting Christianity. So you can follow all this up, you know, it's all well recorded. So this area, like I say, this is the Avalach, the island. So this would have been where you had the monks with their priory. This has been agricultural. Avalach, you reference the apple trees as well. And this would be the fertile area, completely surrounded by water. And if you go to the old maps, what's now called Queen Street, which is a meaningless name, it's all the way back to, I've got to get this right, don't I? Crockerton, it's a long old name, Crockerton Street. Anyway, this used to be the main run through here. This is the way in and out of Cardiff, all right? It's changed a lot since Victorian times, really. So what we see over there then is that this Malgan I was telling you about, he's confused with Malgan of Gwynedd, but it can't possibly be him. If you look at the dates, and he died of the plague, which is supposed to hit, or yellow fever, which hit about 550s. Malgan of Gwynedd was elected King of Gwynedd in 580, 25 years after he's supposed to have died. This is the mess it's here, right? So that's a nice trick if you can pull it off, but I don't think Malgan did. And if you look at Malgan's family tree, his father was Tudrig. Does anyone know who Tudrig was? Right, well, Tudrig is he's the grandfather of Arthur II. So Tudrig's son is Myrig. Myrig, who's first buried over Lambda Cathedral. Then you got Arthur. So effectively, the person we're talking about, Malgan, was the uncle of Arthur II, right? So that's all part of the British royal family, which is written completely out of history, but it's obvious why. If you've got a royal family sitting on the throne, if you're being very generous, they could trace back to 1066. And then you've got another alive and well British royal family, which can date back to about 500 BC. Predates about 1,500 years. And Glamorgan and Gwent, and that was never defeated, it was never legally captured. It's just been kind of annexed and assumed to be a part of England. That's why there's no dragon or anything on the British flag. Technically, this part of the world is still uncontested, if you like. It's like occupied territory.
Yeah.
And that sounds a bit of an aggressive way of putting it.
The Normans. The Normans, they come over and they said their history, not ours.
Yeah, the Normans came as well. I don't think the Normans got as far as we think either. This is one of these
No.
bizarre concepts. If you read the stories, like there's a castle down in West Wales, it's bizarre. You've got a blue plaque outside. One part of it explains how the Normans captured the castle. And the other half explains how the Normans built the castle.
Well, that's a Norman king. That's a Norman king.
Yeah, this is supposed to be Norman.
Well, William the Conqueror's William the Bastard, you mean?
Yes,
Maybe even built it, then lost it, then recaptured it.
so you've got a situation where on one plaque it says that they built a castle and they captured a castle. So I don't think one bunch of lads leave the bricks as fast as they can and the other one's trying to climb over it. I don't know. I mean, it just doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. And all no cranes then.
And the whole thing with this as well, I mean, this is supposed to... Pardon?
No cranes. There's a crane. How would they be lifting them? Like?
Yeah. Well, they move
They
them.
going lifting them for that.
Oh, while we, as we're here, I wasn't going to go into this too much, but this has a nice interesting introduction here. Do you know why Cardiff, why Cardiff is called Cardiff? Where the name Cardiff comes from?
Mystery, isn't it? It's supposed to be a Roman general.
Well, it's supposed to be Didius, yeah, it's a Dane fort, and it's everything's Roman, everything's Roman. But if you look at Cardiff, Caer being the fortress or settlement, and Dydd is the old Welsh verb dyddio, which is to make an agreement, a truce. So what we seem to have happened is that you had the initial attempts by the Romans to invade Wales, and they couldn't do it. They fought for decades after decades. Around about 91, so they're supposed to come over around about 45, start fighting the Welsh 60s, 70s, still fighting in the 90s. Maybe they got some success. They got theories about Caerleon and who the second legion was. It might have been a British legion, not Roman at all. But leaving that aside, it was ungovernable. And if you think about it, the whole concept's ridiculous. You know what Wales is like? If you go up into the beacons and all these areas, up into the valleys and the hills, it's a pretty vast landscape. And somehow, a few thousand blokes in sandals are supposed to have dominated all that. It's just impossible. It's just impossible. Even like you think about Afghanistan, that they're going in with tanks and helicopters and airplanes and everything, they still can't keep the place down. And it seems like they're having a similar nightmare in Wales. And I'd say the north of England, fighting still going on to the 90s. Now, just to touch, can we go a bit more on this?
Well, let me just touch upon that
go on,
a second.
So yeah, this castle you see behind me is supposed to cover like 3 timescales from Roman to Norman to the Victorian era. And this palace, if you like, in the background here, is designed by an architect, one of the famous of the most famous of the Victorian era, Burgess. Now, if you try and find a photograph of this being built, and it's supposed to be around in the 1850s, so photographs exist in this period when this is being built, and the same for all of the mudflooders in Cardiff. Try and find a photograph online of any of this being built, you will not find anything. And it's made in a pre-Raphaelite style. This inside is absolutely fantastic inside this building, right? But it's supposed to be like the guy who was a Scotsman who built it. It's basically the Marquis of Bute within his park now. And he stated that the park itself would be given to the people of Cardiff, never to be built on, which fits right in with what Ross is proposing is why. And it just literally goes for miles to the north of Cardiff, separating it in two, the beautiful countryside. And also, he gave Cardiff Castle to the people as well, but it was hijacked by Cardiff City Council. Now you have to pay to get in, which is always what I can test when I get to the doors. So hang on, this has been given free by Marquis of Bute. So yeah, there's many timescales, but nothing fits in there. I've been there 1,000 times. You know, this thing here, this circular building in the middle, it's got a moat around it. It just looks like some sort of pump house or some sort of device to read myself. And you know, these are just narratives. You know, words do not make things reality in a history book. A history book is just a chronology of royal families, their battles, which I tried to find. These battles, and none of them are there ever. Battle of Hastings, Battle of Bosworth, I tried to find 2 years ago, just not there. So that's what we're doing, we're uncovering the real history. And what Ross is saying, there's enough evidence, this is the real situation, this is the score. And you know, this is important work, you know, this is like literally bringing out the real history. And you know, where is this happening? You know, this is fantastical stuff, it's just magical stuff. So thank you, Ross. If you want to say anything else, we're going to be moving off shortly. I'm waiting for someone else to turn up, I don't know where they are.
Just going to quickly just finish off on that one. So if we go with, so you've got Cardiff, the place of the agreement. And as Martin's saying, I'm increasingly discovering, I've come from a completely different direction to Martin, just to explain, I should introduce myself, do a bit of background. I come very much from regular history. And then that penny dropped about 7 or 8 years ago, I know it's all written wrong. And that's Wilson and Blackett's work, discovering then how the history we know doesn't fit in with the history we're told, and you start digging into it, it's a kind of a whole picture was put together, like, you might hear the Scaliger, for example, who in the sort of, going back to 1700s, Renaissance times, he created this timeline that we all so religiously follow. You know, 300 BC, that would be the Macedonians. Roughly 0 is Caesar, and then, you know, you slot all these things in and create a ladder. And then we all hook the things on them. It was all done by one guy, more or less in a studio with some books. I mean, it's ridiculous not to be able to challenge that and look at it.
That's a bit like reporters today, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah. He didn't have the internet or anything, no, he just basically, for whatever reasons, he could write whatever he liked. And everything has to fit within that, and that's the problem. You have this paradigm, and this is why I think academics are so stuck, is because they have to work within a paradigm where they can't actually challenge the first part and say, well, actually, instead of arguing about the branches and the leaves, we should be on the other tree, you know, this is where they are at the moment. So, what dates are really talking about when all this happened? I also don't think it's anywhere like as far back as the mainstream history says, but going with that kind of chronology, so you got in there. And this is where it comes back to here, is the Romans at the time had a real problem. As you've seen in the records of the kings, they were all killing each other. It was all a mad slaughter. And they had Hadrian, the famous Hadrian, who didn't build the wall. That's another story, that's Severus, about 100 odd years later. He didn't have any heirs. They're all killing each other in Rome. They got this obsession with the royal blood, and in this instance, the holy blood as well, possibly, because the Holy Family coming here. And they're getting nowhere, they want the resources, they want this big trading empire, they want the one world government type thing of those, the equivalent in those times. and negotiated with the British kings. Because the British, even Claudius, one of his daughters, married to a British king. You've got Claudius, the first governor of Rome, who married a British princess. They were into marrying, and the only place where there was royal blood and hereditary was here. So if you look at the deal they did, this is what Wilson and Blackett show, that the deal they've done then is that when Hadrian died in the 150s, this is when actually it was the